What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer update video. Day 2 of the US tour, and it is match day today, people, as Arsenal play against Bournemouth tonight at the Dignity Health Arena, LA Galaxy Stadium, where David Beckham obviously once plied his trade back in the day. And we'll be playing against Premier League side Bournemouth tonight. I mean, listen, it's not the biggest game of the tour, but it's the first game. It's an interesting one. We'll get a look at some players. A lot of people saying Gabriel Jesus looking super sharp in pre-season. Going to be interesting with Thomas Partey. I know a lot of fans have been frustrated with his lack of game time. No international tournament for him in the summer. He's out here training. How fit is he? Can we get more games out of him? Jurrien Timber, in the words of Arsene Wenger, he's like a new signing. He actually is like a new signing because he only played 50 minutes before he got that ACL injury last season, which was terrible. Took him out for the whole season. What can we get out of him? You know, a fantastic player, and we're really hoping for a big season from him. So it's an interesting game. We'll see what the dynamics are like tonight against Bournemouth, and hopefully we can get a win. We've had good pre-seasons over in the last couple of years, and it has given us that momentum going into the start of the season, and definitely has helped us. I'm trying to cross a road here. You know what I mean? Man's letting me cross still. Let's get over it. You got to be careful in LA, you know. You got to be on your P's and Q's, people. But no, listen, match day tonight. So let's see how that game goes. I'll check back in tomorrow. But listen, let's talk about the big news. Finally, Ornstein has dropped the bomb. Fabrizio has dropped the here we go. Ricardo Calafiori. When the morning shot eyes Calafiori. The deal is about to be done. Medical will be completed. He is flying out to America this week to get his medical done, and hopefully will play some part in this US tour for Arsenal. Finally, they've managed to find an agreement. It's crazy, isn't it? Arsenal, I don't know. It's crazy the way we do business. I know we've got there in the end, so let's hope he is a top player after all this waiting. I've probably made 15, 20 videos talking about this guy. We've been linked with him that much, you know, and the excitement level kind of drops in the end. You're just like, man, just sign and get on with it, man. But listen, as long as they get there in the end, that's all that matters. And it's good that he's going to be joining Arsenal for part of the tour because, you know, as a player, I can tell you now, it's very important to have time to integrate into your new squad. I'm not sure if Calafiori speaks English. And you just need that general time. He's moving to a different league, different style of football, and also it's going to be interesting where Calafiori plays for Arsenal. Is he going to go as a left back? Can we do something similar to what Man City have done with like Nathan Ake at left back, or is he being brought in to challenge Gabriel as that left-sided centre back? Are we looking at the possibility of playing 3 at the back sometimes? Who knows? He will obviously offer us different options. Going to cost around £42 million with the add-ons. Obviously, Bologna were negotiating with Basel. They wanted them to change that 50% sell-on clause. It looks as if it's going to stay as it is. But Calafiori on his way. Now, we was actually out last night doing some content, and we were told last night that Calafiori was flying out this week. And you always wonder when people give you these little, you know, bit of inside info. But Ornstein did drop the bomb this morning, so it looks as if that has come to fruition. And Calafiori will sign for Arsenal this week. And hopefully, who knows, will he play a part against Man United? Maybe not. He's just come back from holiday, hasn't trained yet. Maybe he plays a small part in the game against Liverpool in Philadelphia. Or maybe Arsenal could get him on the bench for the Man United game just to sort of announce him to the fans over here. I know a lot of fans have been frustrated that there's been no new signing. So Calafiori, that box has been ticked. He will sign for Arsenal this week pending a medical. Negotiating personal terms apparently has already been completed. So finally, Arsenal will have signing number 1 in the bag. Now, I don't want to seem greedy here, but psychologically, Calafiori's already been an Arsenal player to me. So the question we all want to know, who is next? Who are Arsenal going to bring in next? We know a number of names are being linked. Now, Fabrizio Romano has reported today, Arsenal are going to go back in for Victor Gyokeres. Now, I know we've spoken about him before. We've been linked with him for months and months and months. Fabrizio said on his daily briefing today, Arsenal will go back into the striker market and Gyökeres is the expected striker that they will go for. Now, he's got this £85 million release clause, but apparently Arsenal believe that they can get him out of there for around £60 million rather than the £85 million. He says that Sporting Lisbon are aware of the fact nobody is going to pay that much money for him, based on the fact he's only had one season in Portugal. He hasn't had like a long period of time playing for his country. People just simply don't believe he's done enough to warrant an £85 million price tag as of yet. You can see the striker market at the moment is moving very slowly. You know, Osimhen hasn't left yet, Ivan Toney hasn't left yet, Benjamin Sesko ended up signing a new contract. A lot of the strikers that we thought were going to be moving this summer have not moved, and Arsenal are going to go back in for Gyökeres, according to Fabrizio Romano. Now listen, I know a lot of people have said, oh, you're always trying to get us to buy Ivan Toney. He's a player that I think's decent and would do a good job, but I would take Victor Gyökeres, especially if we're getting him at a reduced price. £60 million I think would be worth taking a chance. He scored 40 goals in all competition last season for Sporting Lisbon, led them to the title over there in Portugal. The year before he scored 24 goals in the Championship for Coventry City, which is a very, you know, tough, physical, aggressive league. I think that would be a good signing for Arsenal. I've said before, and I stand by this, Arsenal for me have to get a striker in this window. We need somebody that scores big goals in big games, somebody that, you know, can score 20 league goals for us. And Gyökeres for me would be a good option. I have no problem with Arsenal going in and trying to get that deal done. So let's see what happens on that one, people. Apologies if it's a bit noisy here, man. There's a lot of traffic this morning, so I hope it isn't mashing up the sound on the video. Another player that also being linked with today, people, is Federico Chiesa, the Juventus winger. You'll all know about him. Very good player. Was rated extremely highly a few years ago. They were talking about him in, you know, 80, 90 million euros a few years ago. He sustained this knee injury. He just hasn't been the same player since, lacking that speed that he used to have. And apparently they would let him go for around 30 to 35 million pounds. He is on £150,000 a week, plus bonuses that can get him up to around £200,000 a week. So Arsenal apparently, according to reports in Italy, Juventus have only had one inquiry for him this summer, and that was from Arsenal. Arsenal are clearly looking at the winger market, somebody to come in and you know, create some competition for Bukayo Saka on that right hand side. It's somebody we could do with bringing in a right-sided winger, and Chiesa could be that guy that we go for. Now there are reports today Juventus might even be willing to let him go on loan to get his wages off the wage bill. Now listen, Chiesa for me, to sign him on a permanent would be very risky. Big wages on the back of a bad knee injury, bringing him to a physical league like the Premier League. I would be very careful about signing him on a permanent, but to be honest, if there was a possibility of getting Chiesa on loan, I wouldn't be totally against it. Bringing him in on loan, maybe with an option to buy, have a look at him, see how he adjusts to the Premier League. He's still only in his mid-20s. Personally, on a loan format, I wouldn't be totally against Chiesa being looked at, but on a permanent deal, I'd be very, very wary of it. He's suffered injuries. He looks like he's lost that yard of pace that he had, and he's on big wages as well. And obviously, he would be looking for a long-term deal, maybe 4 or 5 years. So my advice to Arsenal would be careful with a deal for Chiesa. Right, people, that is the end of the transfer updates today. Big up to everyone locking in. I'll be doing these videos every day over here in America, walking up and down the street. It's nice to be in some sunshine, palm trees in the background, and so on and so forth, you know. So yeah, we'll be doing these videos on a daily basis over here. I'll be at the game tonight, Arsenal against Bournemouth. I would like to see Arsenal win tonight and you know, start this pre-season tour in the right way. We've obviously got Man United on Saturday. They're going to have a much stronger team out. The interesting thing is Bournemouth will have nearly all of their team, and I know we wouldn't consider Bournemouth one of the top teams in the Premier League, but they will be close to full strength. We know that we're missing half of our team with, you know, Saka, Rice, Saliba, Raya. Ramsdale, all these guys are out. What sort of team will we have out tonight? I think Cole Heim will play in goal. Back four could be something along the lines of Zinchenko, Ben White, maybe Kivior at centre-back, maybe Timber. Midfield, you're looking at maybe Jorginho, Partey and Odegaard. Front three, possibly you could be looking at Trossard, Jesus, maybe Fabio Vieira or Reece Nelson. So listen, it's a good enough team to beat Bournemouth. Let's see how the game goes. Big up to everyone locked in. Let me know what you think about what we've spoken about today. Calafiori to Arsenal, practically done. We're being linked with Gyökeres and also being linked with Federico Chiesa. Let me know what your score predictions are for tonight. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all tomorrow, people. Bless!